Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about airbrushing. I'm going to show you the airbrush I use, talk about tips for getting clean lines when using a stencil, and demonstrate 2 different ways to use an airbrush on cookies. All of these cookies have an element of airbrushing. On some of them I used a stencil, and on the others I airbrushed along the edges to add dimension. These last 2 pictures show before and after of airbrushing. It's absolutely amazing the difference airbrushing can make. First, I want to show you the airbrush I use. This is a master airbrush and I bought it off Amazon a couple of years ago. There are lots of different airbrushes on the market at different price points, so don't feel like you have to buy this exact one. But I've loved this airbrush and have had no problems with it at all. I'll link it below for anyone who wants to check it out. One thing that is key in airbrushing is to understand the pressure you're using when you pull back on the trigger. Going slow with light pressure is going to make all the difference. You can go over the area a few times until you get the intensity you want. If you use too much pressure, the color will pull up on the cookie and seep under the stencil. The first line I'm doing is the amount of pressure I normally use. To show you the difference, the second line is if I pull back all the way on the trigger, and the third line is using the same pressure as the first, but going over it a few times to build the color up. Here's a close-up so you can really see it. This is pulling back all the way, and this is how much I pull back. The first way you can airbrush a cookie is to airbrush around the edges to add dimension. You can use a similar color, like what I'm doing here, or you can airbrush any color you want onto a white base. You can also layer colors on top of a colored base. Get creative with it. That's the beauty of an airbrush. It's so easy to get artistic with colors to come up with something beautiful. In my opinion, the best tool for airbrushing other than an airbrush is a stencil genie. That's what I use to hold my stencils in place. It has a magnetic closure and has 2 different depths to accommodate thinner and thicker cookies. Anytime I use a stencil, I use my stencil genie. I'll link it below in the description box if you want to check it out. You want to be sure you hold your airbrush gun as close to a 90-degree angle as you can when you're using stencils. This will help keep the color from seeping under the stencil. You'll notice how lightly I'm applying the color and how many times I go back and forth over the cookie. Those things, along with holding the airbrush gun at a 90-degree angle, is what will give you the best results. Airbrushing is one of the first things I recommend to someone looking to take their cookies to the next level. There is just so much you can do with it, and there isn't that steep of a learning curve. Once you get one and you practice a few times, keeping these tips in mind, you'll be a pro. And I promise you'll be looking for any excuse to use it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, and before you go, be sure you're subscribed. Hit that bell and turn on notifications so you'll know anytime I upload a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.